Hey Jacksons, ooh la la. So, are we going to talk about it? Should we talk about it? Anyways, there's a lot to unpack on this particular video, so I don't need to waste your time, right? Just make sure you watch this video till the end. There is the real issues. There is the embarrassment and humiliation of Ilebaye by the head of house. There is the Tacha dragging Big Brother and a whole lot more. So if you're new to this channel, just make sure you subscribe. Now let's get right into it. Uriel, even before the show, when it was being leaked that Uriel was going to be one of the housemates in the show, I always had there's this look she gives, right? She gives this strong lady. I wouldn't want to see bad B vibes, but a very bold, strong lady who knows her ground and stands by it. But the last 2 weeks in Big Brother's house, these 2 weeks in Big Brother's house has shown me otherwise. First off, during her season, she has been given the queen of the diary session, and she proved it in the first week. But then coming into the second week or towards the end of the first week, it started changing. She became, I wouldn't say antagonistic, she became very, very vulnerable. It's understandable to be vulnerable, right? But it became a problem that it just seems as though she was fighting. She was all up in her own head by herself, and that's not what we are seeing. She complained about Princess and the attitude and stuff, and complained about WhiteMoney, and I'm like, these are things you can settle with people. And now it's Kidwire. So during her diary session with Big Brother, she was complaining how she's looking like the bad person. She's doing too much to please people. That right now she's going to go all out. She wouldn't care about anything people are saying. She wants to be herself. She is just tired. How she was cooking when Kidwire was the head of house. She was cooking for she cooked over 40 meals for him, and then telling Badge cooked only one to yourself. Like, how will she be just submissive and doing this and all that? And I'm like, exactly what are you trying to say, girl? Because let me be honest, just like I'm sounding right now, confused. That was how I was during her diary session. She would talk. Big Brother would calm her down and tell her, Uriel, why are you looking at yourself in that light? Why are you doing this? It was just like, it was chaos. There's so much chaos going in that girl's head that she needs to get right out of it as soon as possible. And that's all I need to say on this particular one. Oh. And moving on from that, we have Mercy Eke and Ike, the head of house. So of course, she is one of his BFFs, and yesterday he complained that he regrets even choosing his BFFs as his BFFs because of the issues around food and the things they got for their week and stuff. But then we saw that Mercy Eke and Ike were having a conversation in the head of house bedroom and on the bed, and it just seems as though these two were coming back together. So the conversation moved around the fact that Ike said he's not a generally happy person. In fact, he dwells and feels normal when there's a little bit of chaos. It shouldn't be all happy, and if people are trying to make him feel like that or turn like that, it'll cause trouble. He would not be himself. So of course Meseke was now like, you know what, we're not necessarily saying that that's how you need to be yourself, but we see that if you had continued being antagonistic around the food issues, it's going to cause more problem. He says that, you know what, it's what he wants. Actually, he wants the house to be more entertaining, especially from the head of house point of view. But then that conversation now moved to them being rather into each other. Meseke asked him that, so I hope you wouldn't have any issues if I now couple up with another guy. And he was like, no, I wouldn't have another issue. I wouldn't have issues. After all, some guys have actually met me asking if they could make moves on you. And I was like, they could go ahead. But then her facial expression was giving like, oh, she wasn't impressed that he was going to give other housemates, a go ahead. And then it moved on to the fact that she was now asking him, are you being honest or serious that you're not dating? What about the rose you spoke about? And he was now laughing. Oh, they had a conversation about a lady called Rose, and he was being serious about her, that she's a real person. He wasn't just saying it for saying sake, right? But that right now he's actually single. All the girls he knows are influencers, and he wouldn't want to kick off anything with influencers because all they care about is clout, likes, and shares and follows. But right now he feels it is the best time for him to make the best out of his life. And I'm like, okay. The both of them asking each other if they were really dating or not is now coming off as something. Maybe she feels like he's a strong contender in the house, so she wants to kick off on him, because obviously she has told us that she had a boyfriend who actually gives her 4 million naira every month and could give her the 120 million in 6 months or something. So we are not going to say anything. However if the ship is going to sail, we want to see it sail in a very chaotic way, because it seems like these two are chaotic. And still on the Ike head of house issues, it seems like the universe and the people are going to push Ilebaye to the limelight in this season and might end up making her the winner because of how terrible these housemates are treating her. So not until Ilebaye went to the diary room, I didn't know about this. It turns out Ike humiliated her in very unspeakable ways. Now, he had his own diary session where Big Brother had to caution him and even told him to go and apologize to Ilebaye. And I was waiting because I didn't watch that session where this thing happened. Now, according to Ilebaye, they were cooking, and that there was, of course, pieces of meat that were meant to be shared to the housemates. And I guess just like the other time that we heard Uriel complain about WhiteMoney and the food and meat stuff, or whomever complained about it, housemates were supposed to take two or three pieces of meat, and it was going to be shared by those in the kitchen at that moment who did the cooking and the sharing. And then, of course, head of house, who wants a lot of chaos and something, came to the kitchen area and picked a piece of meat. He was really hungry, and of course, being one of the persons who eats the most in the house and have his way with the kitchen stuff whenever he wants to, saying that he's a chopaholic, if there's a word like that. He went to pick a piece of meat, and Ilebaye told him that if you pick a piece of meat, that is going to be your portion. It's going to be part of your piece that you're going to eat. Now, according to her, you're supposed to take one big piece, one small piece, right? He took a big piece, and she told him that it's going to be part of yours. And he threatened her that, do your worst now. It's not going to be part of mine. When the time comes, you're going to give me the number of meats that every other housemate gets. And she was like, we'll see about it, right? And then when the time came, they shared food and gave him a small piece. He was denied the extra he wanted, and he began to threaten her. He began to threaten Ilebaye that she should wait. She's going to, according to, he told her some things, of course, to her face, that he's going to make sure she gets a third strike and be sent out of the house. That he's going to mess with her mental health. She's going to be distraught. He's going to, trash her to the ground, according to the way she was putting it out there. And then, she ignored him because Doina told her that she should ignore anything that comes her way, anybody trying to trigger her, because Ike had even had a conversation with Mercy Eke that, they're going to make sure that she gets her third strike and be sent out of the house. She's not going to last in the house. People have been ganging up against her. That even Mercy Eke had said that by the time Ike is done with her, she would be left with nothing. And it felt so bad. I wouldn't say I was emotional, but I felt her pain where she started becoming emotional while talking to Big Brother. And then she said that she ignored him and went to bed, only for him to come, and he has been shouting her name, and he came to where she was sleeping and pulled out her blanket covers. Like, it was so terrible, because it felt humiliating, because, she had referred to the point that there was a time Uriel playfully took out his bed covers, and he didn't take it lightly, but he came out humiliating her and, bullying her, which was terrible. And I'm like, these guys, they don't know that every little thing that they're doing is pushing these girls to the limelight. And I cannot wait. Like, literally, many people have voted. We've been seeing people's voting, and Ilebaye is topping the chart. If only these guys will have sense and be by her side, just like Doyin is. That's the reason why Doyin will actually get to semi-finals or even the finals, because she is that one person who is standing by this girl. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you on this particular video. Of course, I'm still bringing you more lowdown, so stick around, and I'll see you on the next video.